Hello and welcome to Hard Copy. Tonight our focus is on insecurity and the failure of the President to honor the invitation of the House of Representatives to brief on the state of security in the country. I am Terry Ikumi.
I gave out my life because of my people. Everybody can testify to that. So I tell everybody except God. The reason we should be put is that we are going to invite Mr. President to come and explain.
Our democracy is under threat. And why do I say so? The framers of our Constitution, even in drafting the Constitution, put the legislature first, because we are the fulcrum of a democracy. Now, I personally feel my privilege has been breached, and I think my other colleagues, even senators, should feel the same way.
Well, those are my guests on Hard Copy tonight, both members of the House of Representatives and very outspoken. Honorable Mark Gbila, representing Gwe East, Gwe West constituency of Benue State on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, and Honorable Ahmed Jaha, representing Damboa Goza Chibok constituency of Borno State on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. Welcome to Hard Copy.
Thank you very much.
I'll start with Honorable Jaha. You and 9 others sponsored the motion to invite the President. In fact, you repeated this. You had to, at some point, inform your colleagues that prayer was missing from the resolution of the motion as presented by Honorable Satomi. What's your reaction to the absence of the President at Thursday's plenary?
No, to me, as far as I'm concerned, is I don't want to make any comment with regards to President's inability or failure to honor our invitation, because at the very beginning he said he's coming, as communicated by our principal officers. Later on, we heard that he's no more coming, but there was no any official communication to the House confirming why is he not coming. So as far as I'm concerned, to me, I will not rely on newspaper publications or social media reports that the President refused to come.
You say you heard that he was coming, and
yes,
then you heard that he wasn't coming.
Yes.
Where did you hear both from?
No, I heard he was not coming. Sorry, I heard he is coming.
From where?
From the Speaker. Where
did you hear that he wasn't coming?
On the social media platform, because I was in Lagos. I did not attend the last sitting. We were in Capital Market oversight function. So I saw it on the social media that the President is no more coming on Thursday as earlier scheduled.
Are you okay with the position of the Speaker that the House will wait for official communication from the President to explain why he wasn't at Thursday's plenary?
First of all, let me commend my colleague, Honorable Jaha, Honorable Satomi, and even the Speaker and the leadership of the House for even standing up to the interests of the Nigerian people. With regards to the Speaker's comment, I am personally not satisfied. Of course, we give him the benefit of the doubt, but it is no longer, it is water under the bridge. It is no longer whether we heard or not he didn't come, which I already believe is an affront on the institution, because he formally communicated to the Speaker, who conveyed the information to us that he was coming.
On what day?
That was one of the days.
No, I mean, what day was communicated to the Speaker?
For
yesterday. The appearance of the President. So the President officially communicated?
Officially, yes. From what I'm aware of, obviously, for the Speaker to communicate to us, that means he received formal communication. So I think, for me, it's an affront already for not showing up without communicating to us.
But some of your colleagues...
Again, that he will not be able to
Some of your colleagues say that there was no official communication to state that the President would be available on Thursday, the 10th of December.
No, but that's, like my colleague just said,
is that true?
Information that we got from the Speaker.
No, I see Honorable Jaha Norden. Was there a communication stating, official communication stating that the President would be at plenary on Thursday, the 10th?
The reason why members assume is coming on Thursday is there was a communication from the Speaker.
Let's say assume?
Yes. Because the assumption is we didn't see the official communication. As far as we are concerned, it was the Speaker that told us the President.
And we have
excuse me, and to be fair to the Speaker, when he was trying to cite Thursday as the official day that the President is going to come, he said that Tuesday probably there will be NEC meeting or something else. Then on Wednesday, there may be Federal Executive Council meeting. So it's only Thursday he is looking up to. That was what the speaker said. To be fair to him, he is not here. And I was in the chamber when he said that we are looking up to Thursday. He didn't say precisely that the president gave him Thursday that is coming.
Okay, that's interesting.
Now, Terry, the issue for me is Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, the speaker, we have confidence in him as the leader of the House. He communicated to us, and the speculation was Thursday. Now, the issue is, if the president has the regard he should have for the institution of the National Assembly, which is the first, the framers of our Constitution indicated in the Constitution, considering us being the fulcrum of a democracy, it is obvious he should have given that regard to communicate and say, look, you guys said Thursday, but I'm not sure I can make it on Thursday. So this is what I will do. There has been no communication about whether he's coming.
But you say there was a speculation. And Honorable Jaha has clearly stated here that there was no formal communication from the president indicating that he would be there on Thursday.
No, there was a formal communication to the speaker, not to us individually as
Of course, the speaker represents
the institution, exactly. So there was formal communication of his willingness to come.
On Thursday the 10th.
Now, whether or not it is the Thursday is left to the speaker to determine, but he told us that the day, like he rightly said, he is looking at of coming that is feasible for the president to appear is Thursday.
You know why this is a little confusing for many? Because the report out there suggests that the president didn't officially say that he would be there on Thursday the 10th, even though his aide had tweeted something like that. So some of your colleagues are saying that the invitation is open and there was no specific date given, agreed upon by both parties for the president to appear.
So
but that draws me to the question. You have drawn up your conclusion saying that your privilege has been breached.
Yes.
And there is a need for the National Assembly to take a strong stance on this issue. In fact, you've said that the budget's consideration should be suspended. The budget should not be passed until an apology is issued by the President and the Attorney General of the Federation. Many would say that you have drawn up your conclusion already, and that would be you trying to hold the entire country to a standstill based on the perception or that the National Assembly feels disrespected by the President.
Now, let me put it in the correct context now. This is no longer speculation when the Attorney General has come out with a statement and he has not refuted it. He has not given any clarification if he was misquoted. He clearly indicated that we do not have the power to invite. Now, for some of us, that is what we take particular exception about, because I brought lists of issues in the same Constitution. He is supposed to very clearly guard in the interest of the country. To now, in my own opinion, err in law by saying we do not have the powers, I believe is an affront, and that is why I'm still standing on the point, and I take this opportunity to issue an invitation to the Attorney General to a public debate if I have to sponsor it. And I will take out the Constitution. I'm not a senior advocate, I'm not a learned silk, but I can read and write. Thank God for the education he has given me.
You know, let me go to Honorable Jaha now.
Yes.
You are very outspoken.
Yes.
In fact, every time you stand up to speak, attention is paid to you.
Okay.
One of the things you said in drawing attention of the lawmakers to the missing prayer in that motion, which was to invite the president, was that you fear no one but God.
Yes.
Could you explain that? And could you possibly say that some of your colleagues are afraid of the president?
No, actually, I wouldn't know. But as far as I'm concerned, as I told you, I fear no one but God, because I know unto him I must return.
Why was it necessary to put that out there before making that point of order?
No, the reason why I emphasize that I fear no one but God is that we cannot bring issue of politics in this issue. I've been losing people week in, week out. A day preceding the time they assassinated, or maybe they gruesomely killed or beheaded 43 people. I lost 12 people. 8 people were beheaded in front of their families. The remaining 4 were carted away. I've been losing people on weekly basis, and I'm the representative of the people. Whether I like it or not, my primary responsibility is to come and represent my people. If today you can go to Chibok, Damboa, Goza, and tell them what do they want government to solve for them, at least one, they will tell you security.
So I understand totally where he comes from when he says he fears no one, just like I too. I think that we should rise above as representatives of the people issues of politics and start to look at issues of our country. Now, whoever did, or if there was any advice, let me also join the speculation train, to the president not to appear yesterday, they did him a great disservice. But let us give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he still wants to honor it. But the important thing to point out is there are references to issues of security as if the president is above the National Assembly. The qualification to even become, first of all, every member of that house is qualified to be the president of this country. I am qualified, he is qualified. And we need to realize that the president is not above the law. If we start to have presidents that are above the law, then we're doing this nation great harm and our democracy great harm. So the Attorney General should be cautious about his comments, because that's where I have an issue with laying a precedence that will be quoted in the annals of time, and we're even looking at possible legal action if necessary, so that it can be properly interpreted and our constitution can properly be quoted in the correct context. Because he even made references to 218 about the president's power to the operational use of the army, but forgot that 2181 says that, but 2184 says it is the National Assembly that makes the laws to regulate the exercise of the president's power to operate the army. So who is above who?
Well, let me go to Honorable Jahan now.
Yes.
Do you share the position of the APC governors who had insisted that the president should not honor the invitation of the House of Representatives?
I did not see anywhere they said this. That's the truth of the matter. I told you I've not been around. I'm in Lagos. I've been in Lagos since Monday, and I just came back yesterday.
Have you heard reports that the APC governors were opposed to the idea of the invitation?
On social media, and I don't want to believe on that.
Not even mainstream media?
No, I did not hear from minister.
Do you read the papers? Do you
No,
watch
I don't
TV?
read papers, I'm sorry.
Can I make a comment?
Just let me just finish. Let me just finish with Honorable Jahan on this now. How important was it for the president to brief the National Assembly? Because we've seen meetings between the leadership of National Assembly, members of National Assembly, committees, and the security chiefs.
Yes.
And it would seem that information had been divulged. So you had moved that the president should come and brief lawmakers. How
Yes.
important was this?
Very good. To me, is that I realize there is a communication gap in the whole thing. It appears that the president has not been telling the people have not been briefing the president properly.
The security chiefs, you mean?
Not only security chiefs, any other person that is a stakeholder in this, that has direct contact with the president, maybe has not been properly briefing the president on what is happening. But with this kind of interaction, president may hear something that he did not hear in the past. Let me give you an example. For instance, the service chiefs, whenever we invite them, they will tell us that they have logistics issue, personnel issue, they have issue of weapons, and so on and so forth. And the president said he has given them all they want. All their requirement has been given to them. One. Secondly, they have been telling Nigerians that people are free now to go to a certain extent to go and do farming and so on and so forth. I've been telling people that they have succeeded in recovering only local government headquarters as hitherto occupied by Boko Haram. In other words, areas hitherto occupied by Boko Haram, particularly the 22 local governments areas that was recovered by this government under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, succeeded in recovering only local government headquarters, because no one could venture 1 kilometer away from every local government headquarters. I'm not the only member representing Borno.
We will come to those details because you've spoken so much. I just want to know how important it was for the president to brief.
At least we'll be able to understand each other so that we can tell him exactly what is on ground, because we are the one at the grassroots, and we know and we hear what is happening,
okay,
so that we can report accordingly.
Very well, then let's take a break, and the conversation continues after this quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Hard Copy. I am speaking with Honorables Mark Gbila and Ahmed Jaha, both members of the House of Representatives. The conversation is on the insecurity and failure of the president to honor the invitation of the House of Representatives. Let's go back to the conversation. Now, Honorable Mark Gbila, why do you think the president failed to honor that invitation?
Now, obviously, well, let me not say obviously, but I believe that it is related to the comments of the Attorney General of the Federation. And we all know, and this is no longer left to conjecture, that there was a meeting between the APC governors, the president, the leadership of the House, and certain members and senators. Now, whatever transpired at that meeting, I have no idea. But just like you, I also heard from the rumor mill that they were trying to prevail on him not to come. For certain reasons, if that is true, I do not know. But I believe that there was an internal reason, and he was told by whomever not to show up again before the House. But once again, I will still give him that benefit of the doubt. We're still waiting to see how our president has a regard or not for the National Assembly.
Do you think that the statement from the PDP calling for his impeachment could have played a part in this?
No. Of course, the president and the attorney general know there's a process for impeachment. The mere fact that somebody mentioned it shouldn't intimidate you or, influence your decisions. There's a process, that constitutionally
well, there's a precedent. The president was at the National Assembly some time back, and he was booed by some lawmakers. And some say that there are some rumors, if I may use that. In fact, let me cancel rumors. An inside source tells me that the PDP had planned to embarrass the president. In fact, if I can be detailed enough, my inside source tells me that the PDP had purchased red handkerchiefs to depict the bloodshed in the country, waiting for the president.
Well, I am a member of the PDP caucus and a very senior member at that, and there was no such plan. I can tell you categorically now, without fear of equivocation. There was no such plan. We had no such plan. Obviously, we had intentions to question the president. Now, there's nothing more embarrassing. We cannot embarrass the president more than he has embarrassed himself and his administration by what is happening, by the seeming lack of control over the issue of security, which is the primary role of government.
When I asked that question, Honorable Jahan noted in affirmation, almost as though he got the information as well that the PDP was planning to embarrass the president. Is that true?
No, actually, I've been hearing it that PDP are planning to embarrass the nation. But from my understanding of the House, though I have control over myself, but I don't have control over other members. But to the best of my knowledge, this security issue has become everybody's business in this chamber.
Of course.
In fact, almost every political party are interested to provide solution to the security situation in the country. But if they said they have a plan that I don't know because I am not a member of their forum, it may be true, but I don't know.
Let's talk about the insecurity in your state now.
Yes.
You've always spoken against some of the actions of the military. In fact, at some point, you debunked the claims by the military that they had captured they had recaptured some areas from the Boko Haram insurgents. Now, what's the true state of the security situation in Borno State? Because you've been there a number of times, and you seem to have insider information.
Yes, I've been a member of House of Assembly for 8 years. Before the arrival or the coming of this government in 2015, about 22 local governments were completely under the occupation of Boko Haram, regardless of the location, particularly in Borno and some part of Adamawa and Yobe. With the coming of this administration, they have succeeded in recovering the 22 local government, but headquarters in particular, local government headquarters. That is why I seriously emphasize and believe that substantial part of areas hitherto occupied by Boko Haram is still under the occupation of Boko Haram. Because by capturing only the local government headquarters, that does not mean you have captured that particular local government. And nobody could venture at least 1 kilometer away from a local government headquarters for farming, rearing cattle, or anything you can take of, because you will end up being in Boko Haram's tent or nets. So as far as I'm concerned, the areas still under the occupation of Boko Haram are substantial compared to areas under the control of the Nigerian army.
You know, the facts speak for themselves. I do not believe we're making progress. We have had some successes here and there, but in the general sense of solving the issue, we have not done so. The Global Terrorism Index indicated that herdsmen attacks have even caused more deaths in this country than Boko Haram attacks. The overarching issue with Boko Haram attacks is they want territory, but the herdsmen are killing and moving.
Honorable Jaha doesn't agree with that.
Well,
why don't you agree with it?
Very good. I will not agree because
because
as I'm talking to you now, out of 250 something Chibok girls, I still have in captivity, not yet recovered 109.
And where do you have your information from that you're countering, with which you're countering?
I'm talking about deaths now.
No, exactly. I want to hear from him because he disagrees.
No, I have reasons because my own is practical. Practically in the sense that there has never been a situation where herdsmen kidnapped at a time more than 200 farmers. One. Secondly, there has never in the history of herdsmen farmers crisis where they beheaded 106 you at a spot in the market square.
You're speaking as an individual.
Yes,
he's quoting
exactly.
facts.
you know now.
No, my one is practical.
Honorable Jaha, it seems you have forgotten. Is it because your own incidents are more recent? 500 people were killed at once in Agatu in Benue State. Beheading. Can I tell you how many? Over 200.
From where is this coming from?
These are facts. I have. If I had known, I would have brought you. And
when we speak about security issues like this,
yes,
it has to be fact based.
That's what I'm saying.
You say 500 people have been killed. From where did you get that information?
Now, this information is from international agencies.
Like what?
Right? Like the UN. We're talking about reports from the Global Terrorism Index. I'm talking about reports from other institutions, even of government. I'm talking about reports from our state, and also reports that you can also check online to be able to confirm what I'm saying. Very soon, I will be part of a press conference where we're going to articulate these figures so people don't lose sight of what has transpired already. Like I always say, it's not a matter of who gets more recognition or intervention. This security issue affects all of us, and that's why I started by saying with due regard to them. But in terms of the attacks, the facts are clear. And what we can do, Terry, fortunately you have this program every week. We can get these facts, communicate them across to you, and then you will also be able to corroborate.
I appreciate that very much so.
So that you will know. Because we seem to be forgetting. The herdsmen attacks have not ceased. The records are there. We're not saying anybody is any better off. We're just saying that let's not lose fact that there are other people who need the intervention they are not getting.
So as we close, would you now say that the recommendations of the Borno State Governor, Babagana Zulum, one of which is that youth should be urgently recruited into the security agencies and the deployment of mercenaries, would be effective?
Very. Already, we have to commend my own state governor. You know, we've already started the livestock guard with all the vilification and condemnation we had from the government at the time. But obviously, I agree with the governor of Borno State. We have to resort to self-help.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree. I agree. I was there when he met that recommendation. I was in that meeting.
But does this not suggest that the military has failed?
But we don't know. If at all, so be it. As far as we are concerned, we want peace.
Does it suggest that to you?
It suggests that they have failed to meet the expectations of the people.
Very well then.
And once again, the president should heed the requests of the National Assembly. We don't have anything against the service chiefs, but if certain people you put in place haven't delivered, replace them.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you so much, Honorable Ahmed Jaha and Honorable Mark Gbila. Thank you for coming on Hard Copy.
Thank you so much.
That's all the time we have. Thanks for staying tuned. Send feedback to the email address and social media handle on your screen. For more on Hard Copy, go to channelstv.com. There you'll find our podcasts as well. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.